Hi, I'm Gideon Diego, and this is the IFC Media Project. There's an old saying out there about how journalism is a craft and not a science. And if that's actually the case, then there's fewer crafts in this country that have failed up quite as spectacularly, quite as often, as the modern sideshow that passes itself off as American news. So this show is going to be a user's guide to how the news gets made. We're going to take a look at what the media gets right, where it gets it wrong, and who calls the shots that influence what you actually see. Have you guys heard about her at all? You guys know anything about her at all? I mean, there's like about 1 million stories like this that pop up. There was the chick in Aruba. There was the girl in Utah. It's like Jean Benet or like
but no black missing kids.
No black missing kids. Like if she was black, never be on TV. Never. Pleasure. Nice shoes. You know, cable news runs on a relentless 24-hour news cycle, but with all that time to kill, one story keeps popping up again and again as a bona fide ratings get. So what exactly is behind America's fascination with the elusive missing white girl? Well, in recent years, it turns out that there's an entire cast of pushers who have emerged to actually facilitate the love affair between news directors and these littlest tragedies.
Countless stories over and over again on the same missing child. Frankly, I doubt that they do much to even bring that child home.
Once you smell it, you never forget it. What the smell of
and whether he is or not
together
for
manslaughter, murder,
whatever, that they don't want the other grandparents to see the child, and that's why the grandmother's helping cover up.
Apparently, vast experience dealing with that.
All I can tell you is this: you know that I'm the journalist that did the Natalie Holloway Aruba story and did all the news for 3 years, and I co-authored the book. We all are news junkies. I love watching the news. I love being on the inside. People know me in the industry. And if it wasn't for all the news junkies out there, I wouldn't have a job.
Will be justice in the case? I do believe so.
And now, the Media Encyclopedia, your handbook to the tricks and tropes of the journalistic trade. This week's media darling, allegedly. Allegedly is a handy word you can put in front of any statement to magically make it true.
Michelle Obama allegedly made reference to white people as whiteys, allegedly.
Allegedly is also a journalist's best friend when trying not to piss off powerful people.
Oprah for allegedly dissing Republican vice presidential candidate Sarah Palin. And Hasselbeck for allegedly dissing Barack Obama's wife, Michelle.
And by saying allegedly, you can legally protect your fancy network, even when you know your statement is in fact true.
Ultimately, it's not like he shoplifted before. He allegedly, according to these people, committed 2 murders.
Almost unnoticed by the world, a new Jerusalem has been arising outside the ancient walls. A new Palestine in the land of promise.
These are images of Israel I grew up with.
Over an area of some 500 square miles, Jews from all over the world have been bringing about a miracle in the desert.
What an amazing country. I was taught that Israelis made the desert bloom and created a paradise out of empty land.
To live happily and courageously as free men and women.
This vision of Jews in Israel shaped me as a kid. But by the time I traveled to Israel as an adult, I'd found something different. There were these other people there, the Palestinians, and they told an entirely different story. For them, the founding of Israel was a catastrophe, a Nakba, that pushed them from their homes and began a cycle of misery that continues to this day. Why hadn't I heard about this other history in the news? With our free press, journalists should be able to say anything they want about Israel, but they don't. Is this the result of pressure from the lobby or something deeper? When Ken Silverstein was at the LA Times, he wrote a potentially controversial article about the conflict. It never got published, and he ended up leaving the paper.
Towards the end of the editing process, I had some very, very serious problems where I felt like the piece had been significantly altered in ways that I wasn't comfortable with. There was one key point that I really wanted to include that repeatedly was cut from the piece, and that was simply that One of the officials that I interviewed, who's with Hezbollah, we were talking about the question of Iran and the Holocaust came up, and he said, there's no question that this took place. I'm not denying that the Holocaust took place. My point, though, is that Europeans committed this crime and we paid for it with our land. And I thought, this is the Arab narrative. We don't hear the Arab narrative very often at all. But I think it created a little bit of discomfort because it looked like it might be too, quote, pro-Arab. And I think that just made certain people nervous. And so they decided to fix the piece.
You know what I noticed this week on TV? Yeah. Okay. They always want to match the background of the story to the background of the reporter. Like, check this out.
As you can see by this chart, the more black stories there are in the news, the more black commentators we see on the news. And then this hero chicken fired the gun once, shooting off the robber's private area.
Okay. Ah, my penis.
I'd say that's one cock-a-mamie story. Juan Ramirez reporting on the drug smuggling problem here at the Mexican border. Sir, are you smuggling marijuana into the United States?
See?
Really? How much for an ounce?
You see what I mean? Why they gotta match? Their job is reporter. Why can't the Latino guy go to Chinatown to cover the chicken peanut story? But a Chinese guy can't comment on an issue about a black thing?
Word!
See what I mean? If everything's gotta match up, is news eventually gonna look like this?
Reporting from the Dwarf Convention, this is Billy.
Is my microphone on?
Yes!
I'm a reporter!
Tell me the story.
I mean, isn't it politically incorrect to assign a reporter based on how he looks? That's the question of the day. Is it wrong to match reporter to the story? Hold on. Hey, how'd you get in here? Yeah. Yeah, I'm with him now. What's with the bunny? Yeah, I'll put plastic down. Plastic down? That's fine. Reporting live, this is none of your business. Signing off. Who you with?
It's no good!